Well, it was the moment everyone was waiting for, the first public kiss between Prince William and his new bride. It happened just behind me on the balcony at Buckingham Palace to rapturous applause, as expected. Now the couple are currently hosting their wedding reception for a select 650 guests. Anna Fisher has been following all the day's events.
The new bride seemed surprised as she emerged onto the balcony at Buckingham Palace. Then came the moment tens of thousands in London and millions watching on TV wanted to see. The first public kiss between Prince William and Catherine, as she will now be known.
Okay. Obviously got a few problems there with that report from Anna Fisher. Might try to go back to it a little later, but I think you saw the all-important kiss on the balcony of Buckingham Palace. With me, as he has been through much of the day, is Stefan Simanowitz. He's a London-based writer and broadcaster. Stefan, this good feeling that the UK seems to have surrounding the wedding at the moment, do you think that's something that's likely to continue given the current economic times? I'm assuming the British government's quite happy to have had this wedding to focus on.
Well, I'm sure they have. I mean, it's been a tremendous boost for the economy and also just for the general mood of the population. It's been a tremendous build-up for some time, and today is definitely a historic moment. That the energy is definitely there, no matter what you think about the royal family. Some people think they're a little bit antiquated and a little bit out of date, as well as an expensive irrelevance in modern society, whereas others really feel as if they're an integral part of the fabric of modern society. I
guess that the wedding has created the debate that so many people wanted to have. You know, I mean, the Republicans are saying, well, we're unhappy with this, but actually it's given them a great platform to air their views, hasn't it?
It has given them a huge platform, but at the same time it's sapped a lot of the radicalism out of the Republican movement, because what we've seen here behind us today is an incredible upsurge of positive feeling, particularly for William and Kate, but for the royal family in general. I think partly because William is Lady Diana's son, and there's a continual emotional connection between the British people and Diana and William, and I think watching him getting married in a very dignified way, the fact that they have modernised the royal family to the extent that he's marrying a commoner, someone who's not an aristocrat or a member of the landed classes, someone who's educated, who's been to university, someone who is very grounded. I think people are feeling a connection with the royal couple, and I think it has injected the royal family with a whole new life.
One point that we actually tried to talk about just before the balcony kiss, which of course we had to come off our conversation and show because everybody was waiting for it. But one thing we were trying to talk about was what effect the image of this young girl supposedly getting her prince, as all the tabloid and the media newspapers here would describe it as. What effect does that have on young people looking at that? Because in some ways, although we have the Queen as the head of state, she is the monarch, we don't have equality within the royal family, do we?
Very much, and I think that some of the Republicans complain that the royal family, which is seen as a symbol of Britain, is perhaps a little backward-looking, is populated by fairly eccentric people, is ruled by arcane, ancient rules, and doesn't reflect the fairness and equality of modern Britain. And an example of that is the way the tabloids have talked about, as you say, getting her prince, and the fairy tale story, the Cinderella story of a girl from the wrong side of the tracks being swept away into her palace. And I think these kind of fairly negative gender stereotypes aren't very helpful. Having said that, I think the fact that she is a modern woman, she's educated, she's very grounded, the relationship between William and Kate is, I don't know them, but watching, it seems like a fairly equal, fairly balanced relationship. And I think I'd hesitate to say that she's going to be some kind of feminist icon or class warrior as well, because she's obviously come from a different class. But at the same time, I think perhaps she could shift some of those prejudices and some of those entrenched behaviours of the royal family in the right direction.
Stefan, for the moment, thanks very much indeed. Well, she certainly does have a long path ahead of her, Kate Middleton. She began the day, of course, the The day, of course, began with her as a single woman. Then she walked down the aisle to become the Duchess of Cambridge. I think we do now have that report from Alan Fisher.